Larry Falivena, really good to see you. Thank you for joining me today.
Great to be here.
How is isolation, quarantining treating you?
All things considered, it's not bad. I think one of the interesting things for me, I've been blessed that the progression of my ALS is slow, but I know for most people with ALS, self-quarantine is kind of a way of life. Because even just getting the common cold can be dangerous. So just being careful all the time is kind of a way of life for a lot of people. Not being able to get out and travel, it's probably, the whole world is getting a taste, I think, of what it's like for a lot of folks who are fighting ALS.
Yeah, I've been told that a lot of the problems associated with COVID and extreme social distancing is just that sense of isolation where, a lot of the people that the ALS Association serves have the benefit of volunteers who come to the home and provide respite, home visits by care services people, just your friends and family coming in to support you you know, uh, that can't happen right now. So
Right.
what is the impact of that level of isolation like?
Oh, there's no doubt that's a huge impact, for people who are not able to have caregivers come into their home. It's putting a much bigger burden on their family who now have to take that larger load of caregiving. And for people who maybe relied on extended family or friends or other things to help them out, all of that is reduced now. So I think it's raised the stress level. It's put more burden on the families of those living with ALS, and really, it's just made their lives a lot more difficult in an already very difficult situation.
And I know, as someone who sits on our national board, as well as somebody who's living with ALS, that the association has really tried to pivot very quickly so that some of those core mission deliverables are not compromised in this no contact environment. Can you talk a little bit about what our focus is right now in trying to maintain some continuity of service?
Yeah, I'm really thankful for what the association has done. One of the things that hasn't stopped during this crisis is the progression of the disease. So I think knowing that the association is still working hard to support people in their local communities through the chapters is huge. I think knowing that we're still working towards positive legislation in government, and that we're still committed to research, gives people hope. And I also think that the information that the association has been providing in terms of how to navigate through this pandemic while living with ALS, just providing some information to help people get through it. Again, I think it just reduces some of the stress level and gives some people hope.
As we are trying to pivot and make sure that there's not just continuity of service, but also that we're reaching the broadest possible population. It's not something that is necessarily done at no expense.
Right.
It's a difficult time for everybody. I think the vagaries of the economy are really frightening for a lot of people who have traditionally been very generous and have donated to our cause. So why, and I know that you're also a donor, why give now? What is your motivation for helping to fund the ALS Association in the moment?
Yeah, I think there's actually a lot of parallels between what the world is seeing now and the fight against ALS. It's been 80 years since Lou Gehrig brought this disease into the light. And thanks to the Ice Bucket Challenge, a lot more people know about what ALS is now than they did even, 6 years ago. But I think what we're seeing in the response to COVID, right? I have no doubt that we're going to beat this virus because a lot of money and a lot of research is being done to find a treatment. But people living with ALS for decades have been trying to fight a disease that we still don't fully understand. And it's going to take the same level of commitment to research to help find that treatment. So again, I have no doubt that we will beat ALS. but it's going to take a commitment of resources to do that. And, I fully understand that, during these times, there's a lot of financial uncertainty for people. But if you're able, this Giving Tuesday, to give even a little bit, you will be directly impacting lives.
Thank you, Larry. Really well said. This is a day when we're all uniting in the spirit of giving and generosity. And I have to say, our donors have just come through every time we ask. So I appreciate your saying that. I appreciate your being here with us today. Looking forward to a brighter day when I can shake your hand again and we can catch a game together.
Right.
But until then, Larry, be well, and thank you for being with us.
Thanks very much.